Sinners might end up being a lot of people's favorite film of 2025. And honestly, I get it. An original vampire story, written and directed by Ryan Coogler, and starring one of the most charismatic actors in Hollywood, Michael B. Jordan. It's well shot, thematically ambitious, and got glowing reviews. Critics and audiences both gave it scores in the 90s. So why am I making a video about its weaknesses? Well, maybe this is a bad idea, but I think Sinners has one specific problem that held it back from being great, and I want to break it down. Hey guys, I just want to take a quick second to tell you about my storyboarding mentorships. If you are someone who is pursuing a career in storyboarding for feature animation, and you are struggling to achieve your goals, this mentorship program might be right for you. No matter what skill level you are, I will help you become a better storyboard artist so that you could create the sequences that will make your portfolio much more impressive. I've helped past students get into their dream animation schools and their jobs on their first feature film without even having to move to America. If this sounds like something you might be interested in, you can message me on Instagram or LinkedIn and we can schedule a free consultation call to see which mentorship is right for you. Now back to the video. Almost everyone I've spoken to who saw Sinners enjoyed it, but many said the same thing. The beginning was kind of slow and it ended just as it got going. That feeling isn't random. It comes from how the story is structured, and more specifically, how and when the movie introduces its fantastical elements. In genre films, specifically sci-fi, fantasy, or horror, you need to set the audience expectation early. Let's take a few examples. In The Terminator, the opening scene is literally a war-torn future. Machines, ruins, text on a screen explaining war between man and machine. A few minutes later, a naked guy appears in a flash of lightning. We know the rules of this world immediately. No confusion, no waiting. Or take Predator 1987. The film opens in space. An alien ship launches something down to Earth. That's it. One shot, and boom, the audience is primed. We're not watching a war movie. We're watching a sci-fi horror with something inhuman lurking in the jungle. Another example, Blade, 1998. It opens with a literal blood rave. We're 3 minutes in, and we already know exactly what kind of movie we're watching. That's how you set tone and manage expectation. Sinners tries to do this, but in a more abstract way. The film opens with a poetic voiceover, a legend about people born with the gift of music, and how that music can attract evil. Beautiful, sure, but it's also vague. When we see Sammy, the main character, walking through a church, bruised, scratched, clearly shaken, quick blurry flashes hint at something terrible. But here's the problem. We don't know what the threat is. There's no context, there's no clear rules. It could be demons, it could be a cult, it could be even humans. It's not until the 40-minute mark, when the villain is finally introduced, that we understand, oh, it's vampires. At that point, the movie is nearly halfway over. Now some of you might be thinking, but mystery could be a good thing, right? Yes, absolutely. Films like Hereditary or The Witch use mystery to build dread. You don't know what's going on, and that's the point. But here's the difference. Those films make it clear what kind of fear you're dealing with. Even if you don't know what the force is, you know it's supernatural or psychological or evil. Sinners doesn't do that. It hints at evil, but it doesn't define the threat clearly enough. So the first act feels more like a moody drama than a supernatural thriller. When you spend that long waiting for the genre to show its hand, it can kill momentum. Now here's the thing. The vampire reveal scene, the one that finally tells the audience what's really going on, was actually supposed to be the original opening of the film. According to the editor Michael P. Sorver, Sinners originally opened with a much more horror-driven scene. Remick, the protagonist, arriving at a farmhouse, but they scrapped it. They wanted something more poetic to set the tone. They thought audiences needed more context. In my opinion, that decision may have hurt the film more than it helped, because the vampire scene, that was the tone. Now here's another major issue. By opening with the flash-forward scene in the church, the film accidentally spoils the ending and undermines its own stakes. Let me explain. We meet Sammy early on. He's a soft-spoken musician, unlike his cousins Smoke and Stack. He's clearly the most vulnerable of the group. The story puts him in danger multiple times, and you can tell we're supposed to fear for him. But we already saw Sammy alive in the first scene. We saw him in the church, scared, yes, but alive. So no matter how intense the final act is, No matter what happens, we know Sammy survives. That undercuts suspense, that undercuts emotional tension. It's like watching a prequel, you already know the outcome. Flash forward scenes aren't inherently bad, some films use this brilliantly. Arrival does it to reframe the entire story. The Usual Suspects builds its mystery around it. But in those films, the flash forwards add value. It changes how we understand the story. In Sinners, the flash forwards give away too much. A stronger version might have been start with the vampire scene, cut the title, then jump back and introduce Sammy and the others. This would have kept the tone consistent, built tension, and preserved suspense. So, am I saying Sinners is bad? No, not at all. It's a beautifully shot, well acted, and thematically interesting film. But the structure and the pacing choices, especially in the opening, kept it from being the genre-defying vampire film it could have been. That said, film is subjective. The things that bothered me might not have bothered you, and that's totally okay. But sometimes, even one scene moved around can shift the entire experience. That's just my take. What do you think of Sinners? Did the slow build work for you? Would you have preferred the vampire threat right away? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Love to hear it. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.